Hello, Diva Doll Boots.
Hello, Diva Boots doll.
Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love, Boys Love. We are recapping Stay With Me from 2023. We are on episodes 9 and 10 today. And what a pair of episodes this was.
A pair of soaps.
We had highs, we had lows, we had drama. We had action.
We had
stupid nonsense.
Comedy. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight. Moms leaving sons.
Moms leaving sons.
Stay With Me the musical.
Moms being attacked.
Oh, I forgot about that. I tried to drown that out because I didn't want to believe that it was actually happening.
Yeah,
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Here's what I'm going to do from now on for the rest of the show. We're going to start off the top. No. We're going to start off the top. And just for those of you who are only here for Bokuang and for Mao Tong.
Oh, yes.
We're just going to get through them real quick. Just going to touch on it. Yeah. Okay. So, Miss Girl from Taiwan, who I swear to God still has not been named. I think she has been named. I just have never written it down.
They just never bring it up.
Miss Girl with the pigtails. Mm-hmm. She comes up to Bokuang and she's like, "Can you do me a favor?" And he is like, "Sure." And he's
like annoyed, obviously, because now he figured out,
now he knows.
It's not, you actually don't like me.
Right. So she wants him to grab Mao Chong's jacket and give it to her. Who Mao Chong, as we know, is
the deskmate.
Suyu's deskmate, who doesn't like Miss Girl from Taiwan. So Bokuang is like, "But can't you just get the same jacket? I can figure out where he bought it." And she's like, No. I want that one.
Because she was like, "Hey, I wrapped your binder for you."
Oh, yeah.
But then it was like, but you have to do something for me.
How do you feel about that? I
Wrapping
did something
binder?
for you out of...
No one asking.
But now you have to do something for me.
I would be like, no, I'd rather not have it. Now I would. I think at the time, if I was Bokuang and I did like this girl, I probably would have been like...
So he gets the jacket for her.
We don't know how. They don't show...
We don't know how.
We don't know
anything. I mean, none of this really matters. Yeah. This is why I'm doing it at the top.
There's nothing connecting to it. Because why? How did Mao Zhang let him have it?
No, and at the beginning of the show, I was like, I really like that they're kind of every kind of, it's like young love.
Yes.
There's it's not even like they're trying to...
There's nothing connecting to
similarity between...
No, they're just little vignettes of what also happened at school.
So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And then in episode...
Because they get 2 minutes every episode.
Right,
max.
Right.
That's it.
So then in the next episode, Mao Chong gets a perm. And he has to go to the principal's office.
And he was like, well,
the dean.
I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't be able to wash it off right away. Well, I can't wash. My parents are working, so they won't be able to. Had an excuse for everything that the teacher was saying.
Well, yeah, because the teacher was like, "You have to get rid of it," because now there is a level of we all need to look as a unit. We're a collective.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go.
We are a commune, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're brothers and sisters.
Comrades, maybe.
I thought you were gonna go into perms. Because you were because in order to get a perm removed, you have to wet it in order to counteract the ammonium
Right, as we all know, because we've all seen Legally Blonde.
Yes, absolutely. She's my age! How would you feel if your dad married someone that was your age?
Can I tell you one thing about my teenagedom?
Not since we're reliving it.
I've technically told you, but they don't know. The good people on the internet don't know. I was such a fucking loser. You
just did theater, right? That was the only thing you did.
I had theater friends.
But you weren't known in school. You weren't
oh honey, I was known in school as the only out gay.
Yeah.
At the time.
You were a loser.
I was a loser. Lover with a $sign. Mm-hmm. Okay, famously. And I unfortunately was not abreast of the top 40. So what I would do, this is so stupid. I would, on my laptop, I would go to Wikipedia and I would
just do
look
top
up
40.
the top 40, like the top songs of years and weeks, and then go to FrostWire, because I was smart enough to not use LimeWire.
Absolutely.
Go to FrostWire and download those songs.
I think I just knew.
Am I admitting to piracy on this channel, perhaps?
You wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't steal a car. Why not? You don't know me.
I think I just through osmosis knew like popular music because I listened to pop music at the time. But I was very specific to like female pop music. I didn't know any of the Green Days. I didn't know any of the Fallouts.
Oh, see, I knew anything that was a number one hit. And then when Glee happened, and then it was like kind of doing the work for me.
Over.
And I just need to listen to the covers.
Yeah.
So now I am one of those people that's like, oh, they did this on Glee. They did this on Glee.
They did this on Glee.
The Journey song "Can't Stop Believin'." That's Glee. That's not Journey. That's Glee.
It's Glee. And the thing with that song is there's deep Filipino lore in that song.
What the fuck are you talking
Because
about?
the lead singer, when Journey wanted to like make their comeback after their lead singer died, they held like auditions. Or they didn't even hold auditions. They found the current singer is Filipino. The current lead singer of Journey is Filipino.
Wow.
He was just doing covers on YouTube. And they contacted
Journey?
And they contacted him. Like, you sound exactly like him. Would you like to sing with us? That's the dream.
For Filipinos, absolutely.
Filipinos, literally. My loserdom in high school was that I tried to be a YouTube star. So I would do like covers and stuff.
RJ, somebody last week or whatever, we're in a time machine.
We're in a time machine. Yeah. We're recording this so ahead of time.
Somebody asked us on YouTube, asked you, not me, clearly.
They said, "Are you Filipino?" But they instead of
It was
R,
a typo.
It was a typo that said "Ate, you Filipino."
Which is not, it's still wrong. A typo that was still correct.
Well, a typo that's still correct.
Ate, you
You
Filipino?
Filipino? Yes, sis.
It's only, we've talked about this. It's only
Older.
No.
sister.
There's not like a younger name. That's just like nicknames.
Ate, kuya, and then just the mangne is bunso, and that's it.
Bunso.
Bunso. Bunso.
Bunso. Okay. I have to learn all this before we go. And
You're watching this, and we're already there.
mere days. We've just arrived.
Uh-huh.
We've just arrived.
We've just arrived.
You
You are watching this, and Adam has just survived what? A 20-hour flight or something? 20-hour
plane,
travel.
train, and
A
automobile.
full 24 hours worth of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a train.
Planes.
So he has. So to go back, Mao Chang got a perm.
Yeah.
Okay. He comes outside, and guess who else got a perm?
Miss Taiwan.
Miss Taiwan got a perm.
Nymphia Win got a perm.
Nymphia Win got a perm. Cut two. I'm just wrapping them up. We're going through it quickly.
Uh-huh.
That's why it took 20 minutes to talk about FrostWire.
Everything else.
Bokuang at home. There's a scene we'll talk about. There's
We'll
a
see where
basketball, blah, blah,
But
blah.
one, I had to say Wambin, not Wambin.
Wooby hops over a fence.
Wooby hops over their fence.
The wall.
Yeah, the wall. And he's like, "Let me borrow your basketball."
Okay.
And Bokuang's dad's like, he's like, "Why can't you be masked like him? Climb this wall right now. I saw him leap over this wall. I need you to do it." And they do a full 3 to 4 minute sequence of him just trying to climb this wall, while the dad is like crying and being like,
I could have done it when I was young. I'm too old now.
I'm too old now. I'm so emasculated." Okay, girl.
It was a very weird sequence. The second weird sequence in that episode, in fact. So that wraps up our Mao Chang and Bokuang
And
highlight
Taiwan.
reel.
Yeah.
And Miss Taiwan.
Miss Taiwan.
Thank you for joining us. So Suyu wakes up. In the last episode, he had gone to bed after he had tried to like reconcile with his dad after revealing the truth about Wooby and Suyu and da-ba-di-ba-ba-da-ba. Suyu's dad comes in the next morning. He wakes Suyu up and is like,
Get him back.
At first, you think it's going to be like,
I'm distraught.
I'm
whatever,
distraught,
blah,
I'm
blah,
upset, blah, 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 I'm sad. And in reality, he's like,
Girl, I don't give a fuck.
He's like, isn't this just a
Isn't this amazing?
coincidence?
Yeah,
A
it's meant to be.
coinky-dink?
He's watching BL.
It's It's fate. He has a line in there that's very funny. That's like, this is like such a coincidence. You couldn't even write this on television. Which is obviously like a little meta joke.
That's always a good go-to.
It's always fun. Yeah, it's nice. No one else would be okay dealing with this like you are. No one else is this accepting of
the family that
the trauma.
Yes, yeah.
But Suyu's dad is just built different.
Yeah,
he is.
But it also just like shows his maturity too.
Yeah, totally. He tells Suyu he has to bring Woobi back home.
Bring him home.
In my need, you have always been there. So then Suyu rides his bike. He catches up to Woobi the next day and is like...
in front of his condo.
Here, yeah, which is far. We've established it's not close. So he catches up to him. He tells him to get on his bike. They'll go to school together. And Woobi does this like, I don't want to go to school with you. Who wants to ride on your crummy little bike? And then gets in his car. And then Suyu's following him in his bike. And RJ was like, oh my God.
If he's going to look back and
if
smile.
Woobi looks back and smiles, I'm going to scream. And guess what?
Guess what, Mimi?
He did.
He did.
It was so cute.
It was so cute because the driver was like, do you want me to go faster so we can... get him off our tail, and he's like, no, are you fucking stupid?
You're gonna exhaust him.
You're gonna exhaust him. Drive slower.
You're gonna exhaust my boyfriend, brother.
Yeah.
Listen,
it's fun. It's a
Clueless.
fantasy. It's Clueless.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It was okay.
You're sick for watching Clueless and being like, whatever, it's fine. Let's watch Adventures in Babysitting now. A better film.
That's tea. Woobi out of nowhere hops onto the back of this bike.
He's like, I got you.
I'm back, girls.
Yeah.
And then like holds Suyu's tiny little waist.
Ooh! It's crazy. And the shot is like him like...
There are many times in these two episodes that I was like, the censors in China were asleep at the wheel.
They were like, oh, okay, he's getting a ride from his brother friend. Okay. But look at the material, girl.
Watch the screen.
Watch the screen.
Maybe they don't know subtext.
That's we kept saying that on a reaction because there were just so many moments that I'm like, this is so...
It was so gay.
It's so gay.
And like, slay.
Yeah, I'm eating.
I live. But like...
It's funny.
The whole thing... The craziest thing too about the whole situation, right? It already had a version that got struck by the censors.
Right, yeah.
So this is like the second iteration of this source material. So it's weird that they would even like... First of all, allow this show to be made.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's like definitely stuff that... It's not like it's not explicit, right? Nobody kisses. No, There's none of that. But there's no way to watch the show and be like, they definitely like each other.
Yes. That's actually... It's like romantically in love. Like he's jealous of people that put attention to Suyu. Like
there's like the joke about flirting in this episode that I was like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's really crazy.
Maybe Bean could set off the fireworks. Maybe the censor's on our side.
Maybe the censor's like, oh, I've cleared it, honey. Oh yeah, nothing gay here.
Sis.
Sent to print. Maybe
it's the guy who played the dad.
The genre of BL plot where it's like the romance, like it just how happens that they're two guys.
Right.
But that still acknowledges that it's
like a romance. Yeah.
Romantic love.
Right.
But here it's like
where like the not sexuality is removed, but like capital G, I'm gay sexuality is removed.
Yes.
It's like sexuality exists,
statement.
right? Because we're still sexually attracted to someone, but it's less about like I identify with this like.
But so far here it's been like you are my person. You are my companion. You are like my
soulmate. Literally, yeah. Literally. I don't know what that word is. Literally. There's a shot in this that I will talk about in this episode that was so shocking that I had to pause and like take a breath because I was like, this is horny. So anyway, it's the New Year. I think we figured out it was regular New Year's, not lunar
Calendar New Year,
right?
yeah.
Calendar New Year. It's January 1st, and it is 2006 now. And then he said the dad said when they were at dinner that he was like, "It's you're a
We're all
year
turning
old,
a year
We're all
older
turning a
this
year
year.
older now." So I guess they also follow the like Korean age rules,
Something like that. Or I thought it was like I was interpreting it like within this year we will all grow 1 year. So I don't know.
Duo is thrilled that Wooby's back. Obviously, that's her biff.
And then when they were talking about the birthdays,
Yes, Wooby is born. Okay, well, Suyu is born on June 10th, and Wooby says he's born on June 1st, so he is the older brother.
so he was like, "Call me Kuka."
Call me Gugu. And I've never heard that term until this show. It's important to remember. Everywhere I look, I can see them. And then at the dinner table, Duo, who again is like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, she's like, Geminis are kind of known for being really flirtatious. Now, I want to say one thing.
She turned into a fucking astrology Instagram. Literally. It's like Gemini. You're a chocolate croissant. You know, sometimes you want a little sweet, but a little like.
Why was she like? I was reading Chani Nicholas's book the other day, and it was talking about Geminis, and I was like,
because everyone literally is like, a what?
because
A what?
Chinese zodiac is a separate
It's the
thing from
year.
like regular degular
Yeah,
zodiac.
they're like the year of the
Right,
ox. Year
it's
of
the year
whatever.
of like the animals
Yeah.
are representative of blah blah blah. Whereas
so
like,
funny.
so
Because she was like,
why does she know
literally
this?
was like, yeah, you guys are such Geminis. I wouldn't know. I'm a Sag. And Adam
like
literally
fully,
goes,
like I
"Well,
was ready for her to be like, so what's your rising?
What's your rising? Yeah.
What's your what?
let me
moon is
do your star chart real quick.
Pluto
Then
in or
she
whatever.
said she was
Oh
a
my God.
Sagittarius, and Adam was like, yeah, that checks out.
That was so shocking. I loved this moment. She is kind of. I'm really trying to decide if she is my favorite character on the show because she is so not what I thought this character was when
Right.
the show started.
Because I
Because
think
that
we
first
always
bit when
like,
she like ran,
precocious child.
she
like,
didn't get in the
yeah.
car, so I was like, oh, she's gonna be like a character that always does the right thing, and like it's kind of like to teach the audience, blah blah blah.
And no, girl, she
No,
poked
she-
a butt. Like the second
She
episode.
poked a butt. She's drinking alcohol. She's talking about the zodiac. I was like, this is a wine aunt at the age of 4. Like
Yeah.
she is literally.
Literally. She's like, oh, I don't want the kids to come over at my house, but I'll come over to your house for Thanksgiving. Yeah, she is fully like 42 without kids. Live
like
smoking. Parliament.
No, she's smoking Virginia Slims, honey.
Slims. Pall Malls Slims.
Slims for sure.
Full Slims.
Because it makes you look. They're long and slim, so you're like, oh, it makes me look skinny. Anyway, that's not tea. That's just what. Okay.
That's not tea. That's truth.
That's not what I'm saying. We're not advocating smoking. I feel like we talk about smoking so much, and every time we do, we're like, it's so cool to smoke. We don't smoke.
We don't smoke.
I don't like smoking.
Yeah.
RJ.
Adam. I don't like smoking
RJ
either. Adam.
used to smoke.
I did not. I
And
have
then I
smoked
was like,
cigarettes
and then,
before.
and
I
then
did
I
not
was like,
smoke.
you will not be putting your mouth near my mouth with those mouths. Okay. But anyway, her calling them out as flirtatious really sent me.
Yes, it's like, this is how Gemini. She literally like, oh yeah, this is how Geminis flirt.
What does that mean?
She is an icon.
Also, I'm trying to remember if that is. Are Geminis flirty? Is that a Gemini thing? The twins?
The twins.
Anyway, the twins. Well, at first we thought they were going to be twins, and then I was like, no, there's
No, they
there's
can't.
no
That
way this
can't
show
be.
is going to be twins.
Yeah.
Okay. They do a New Year thing where they like write a wish and they bury it under the tree. That's very sweet. We're all getting very nice,
New
sweet
Year's.
moments.
Uh-huh.
Everything is very conflict free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should know anytime you're watching the show, if you're watching ahead, and all of a sudden you're like, there hasn't really been
Anything that happens.
any problem.
No conflict so far.
It means honey, you got a big storm coming. Wooby gets a call. Wooby's staying the night. Wooby gets a call on his cell phone, and he proceeds to get up to answer the phone. And I have to do a demonstration of this.
He did not break eye contact. He literally was like,
No, RJ, there's no eye contact to be had because Suyu's eyes are famously closed.
but Wooby is staring.
Staring
And she's like,
at his lips. This is when I was like, the sensors were asleep.
you know what? Now I'm convinced they are on our side. This queen is like, nothing wrong here.
Check.
Episode 9, good to go.
No edits needed. So his brother, quote unquote, I use that in. We're gonna say it's his brother. Calls for the New Year, who does not live in China currently, and wishes him a New Year. Blah blah blah. They're just on the phone. It's very nice. He's talking about how he has like a girlfriend now. Wooby has a really weird line. He's like, I didn't even know you were interested in goes. Did I say goes?
Goes.
I didn't even know you were interested in goes in. Governor. Meanwhile,
This was
fucked. This was fucked. Meanwhile, we see two men hop over a wall and walk into the unlocked door of Duo and her mom's house. Okay? Mm-hmm. And from outside, the camera does not go inside, but you hear the like, what are you doing here? Get away from my mom, blah, blah, blah. There's starting to be an attack. We then go back to this call. Then I'm like, I'm off the call. I don't care about the call. No. Hang up the call.
Yeah.
And then we see Sue's dad gets a phone call. It's Duo saying, it's like, Duo, you have to come hurry. Yeah. They're like, here, attacking my mom. He gets up. He gets Suyu up. They run out. Yeah. They take Wooby with them.
And these two guys are like on her.
It is very like clearly okay.
The point of view was from her, so they're like, the two guys are like trying facing to get to camera, her. Yeah.
It is very clearly. Can I say it? It's very clearly like attempted rape.
Yeah.
But I think because of the show, they didn't want to show anything.
Right.
But I think the way the scene is set up and the way she
like
is left in
distress.
Yes,
Totally.
She's at the very least, this is a violation.
Yeah.
So that's all a lot. As someone who did not think that was where the show was going to go at any point.
And Wooby kicks the damn door in, grabs another bottle, and like throws it at one of the guys.
He like beats him over the head with one, smashes it over his head.
And then like fights the other guy.
Chases the other guy out into the courtyard and like beats him up.
And like holds him.
Mr.
Suyu's dad.
Suyu's dad comes in.
Mr.
Su. He comes in and just starts beating the fuck out of the guy who
is knocked out.
To the point that I was like, oh, please don't let this be like he then murders him and then it's like now he's going to prison. Like that's what I was really scared of for a second.
At this point, I don't know what to expect anymore.
I have no expectations.
Truly.
None.
Truly.
So then the cops come, they arrest the two guys. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Suyu has this very sweet moment with Duo, where he takes her inside.
She reveals that her New Year's wish, was to be able to see her dad.
Yes.
And then after,
because she knows he's in prison.
Yeah, and then after this happened, she wishes that she could see him earlier because of. She's very sad.
Because the whole thing is like they need to be protected.
Suyu
has a very intense scene. He has a very heartbreaking scene then with Wooby where they're in the bedroom. And Wooby's like, we should go back to sleep or whatever. I don't know how you would after this, to be quite honest, but...
And this scene, like, I thought that they were, like, mistranslations happening on the Viki, which I know, like, people have called out, like, the translations
it's a little wonky.
On YouTube are better than the ones on Viki.
Yeah.
Because the translations were alluding to how, like, I know the truth about the relationship of Miss Zhou and my dad. Mm-hmm. And we were like, I feel like he maybe just be reading too much into, like, them.
Yeah.
And then he says...
We don't know a single thing that's happening on the show.
We have no idea what's going on in the show.
We have no reason to be recapping the show because we don't know anything that's going on.
And then he's like, I've always had to share. I've never had love that was just for myself. Mm-hmm. It was always shared with other people.
Right.
Because and it obviously stems from his mom leaving him, so he never feels that like no one loves me just for being me. Because even through that, it's kind of implying that like my dad put aside what he wants to do with his life in order to just take care of me, and I think that kind of draws into this of like, well, now clearly he wants to like be with Miss Zhou, but can't because he feels burdened by me because it's not a complete family.
It's actually it's a really complex layer to this character that I was like
wait, really... that's why I thought it was a mistranslation, because I was like, it can't be like that, right? Because I think it's so weird. It's so I've never seen it before of like seeing my father want to get married to someone and complete a family makes me feel like
Usually in stories like this,
I mean?
it's like, well, I still feel like you should be with my mom. That is the traditional format of like divorced parents getting remarried. The kids are burdened by being like, my parents should be back together. Right. That's what the Parent Trap is. That's the whole point of the Parent Trap. This, however, is not that. It's not an acknowledgement of like,
wanting the family to be back together.
He doesn't want them to be back together. He says he actually doesn't hate his mom, which I think is a big reveal in this too. But it is more that he feels like left out by, he like tries really hard in school. That's why he tries to get really good grades and stuff to be super impressive, but like still feels like, I think what he's communicating is that his dad would feel more whole if he was in a full family and wasn't just the two of them. I think that's what he
is trying to say, because the reaction of him basically he tells his dad like, I think you should get married. I think you should get married to Michelle. I know you want to, basically. And his dad kind of casts him off like, that's a crazy idea, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right.
But he's like, don't worry about me because like I'm going to be okay, or something like that. It alludes to that we get to this like crazy shot of his dad inside the house, like bawling while Suyu is on the steps while they're still having this conversation.
Right.
With like the wall, with like
the wall in
between them. That to us, we were like, oh, I guess he does want to marry her.
Yeah. I think it's,
then that makes me think like, okay, they do know, they do play with subtext in the story, right?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe we're the ones that don't see.
Maybe we're stupid. Yeah, it's very interesting because it's just like a really complicated layer for this character.
Yeah,
that I think he does a really good job.
He does a good job with it. Yeah. And honestly, kudos to the story for even going into that place.
Yeah.
For spilling.
The idea of he wants a love that isn't shared, I think, is very important, because I think it's not going to come
from familial.
Step familial.
Because in that conversation in the room, Wooby says, "There's going to be someone out there for you that will give you that."
There is a level of like what he is expressing. I was like, if I was writing a show And I had to express that a character was gay. But I could not say the character was gay. How do I write the feeling of feeling othered. Or feeling that you want to be loved for who you are wholly and not just partially. And I think this is like the way I would do it.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I'm not saying that was the intention, but I'm not saying it wasn't the intention.
But there's an intent of like an odd, someone could read it that way and they're more
it's not wrong.
And it's not wrong. Totally.
The scene right after where they have the wedding feast.
So they decide to get married. They have a feast.
And it's very sweet and everybody's there.
But Suyu is sad.
Very forlorn.
Yeah.
Okay. Melancholy. And there is this incredible. I could talk about this shot for 10 minutes. There is an incredible tracking shot. And it's mostly in slow motion. And it is like of the people at the party and they're playing the games and they're doing the thing with the apple and they have to bite the and it's like very sweet.
So fun,
Everybody's
festive.
having such a great time. And you track it all the way and you come back to Suyu who's sitting alone. And I said, Wooby needs to show up right now and like have flowers or whatever. And then Wooby shows up. And he's like, you can stay the night at my place. Because he knows how he feels.
Yeah.
Truly. Because they are like best friends. And so they walk out.
He holds his hand. He like basically takes him out with his hand.
He
like,
takes him out and then they like hug each other. And he says, Wooby says to Suyu, we're not extras in this family. And it like killed me.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful, Suyu like started crying and he was like there. It was like such a vulnerable moment.
In this scene that's supposed to be like festive.
Well, that's like the great ironic juxtaposition of like when you're at your, I think this show also does a really good job of like, Ari and I talk about this when we talk about like Harry Potter and stuff, but like there is a level of like in your teenage years, and I'm truly not talking down to teenagers because I hated when people would do this when I was a teenager, but your hormones are like on fire and you're feeling things you have never felt before. And so I think it like also is a really good example of just like feeling so overwhelmed and not knowing how to express like what your feelings are. So like it just leaves you in tears. And like Wooby being there and giving him a hug and telling him it like they're together through they're a pair through this. I thought was like so warm and lovely. I was not expecting this storyline from the show.
Yeah.
Like when it started, I was like, oh, it's going to be like a goof laugh riot until they realize and then they
like each other. Yeah.
Right. But like, this is really
they're
complicated.
Exploring like very much what people go through.
Family dynamics. Yeah. I mean, like really complicated nonsense, which I think goes back to the idea that there is a level of the show that is like the found family energy.
Yes.
And even though it is. Right, it's Suyu's dad. Like, it's not found family per se. But, like, for Wooby, it is partially a found family, even though it is, like, a step-ish energy. You know what I mean?
But in this hug... in this hug, Wooby said, I'm your older brother. You're my younger.
Yes. For now.
Yeah.
So, in episode 10, Suyu gets a cell phone. Mrs. Zhou is like... I convinced your dad to get you a new cell phone. And of course, he does the humble thing of trying to be like, you should have it. I don't need a new phone, blah, blah, blah. I can't even have it at school anyway. There's a similar thing in the Midwest to that, where it's not that you reject the gift, but if you're like, oh, you shouldn't have done this, the person who gives the gift goes, oh, no, it's okay because I got it on clearance. And then everybody feels good about the gift.
Wow, fucking Protestant pragmatism. I'm so...
You gotta love it. So meanwhile, Suyu's at school. He's doing some clerical administrative work for the
all of a sudden he's now the admin intern for the faculty.
What is happening at this school?
It's so funny.
And so he sees like an application or like a piece of documentation that has Wooby's actual birthday on it, which is June 18th. So he was actually older than Wooby. So then he gets to like tease Wooby and be like, you have to call me.
You have to call me Cuckoo.
and it's Dieti. Diti. And Mrs. Zhou and Suyu's dad have a conversation about like having to move because they have moved. Mrs. Zhou and Duo have moved into Suyu's place, but it's really a 2-room situation. Yeah. Suyu has his own room, and then there's a living space, and then there's this other bedroom that Mrs. Zhou, Duo, and Suyu's dad are all sleeping in, but it's a little cramped. Suyu should have his own space. He is like almost an adult at this point. He's like at the end of his high school career.
But she was like, I'll work longer hours so we can all move out to like a bigger place.
And then we can rent this one out.
And then we can rent this one out.
But luckily for everybody involved, Wooby is like, well, I was tired of living in the high rise after being there for, I don't know, a week and a half or whatever. So I've actually rented out the house next door to you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to live there, and Suyu, you can live with me. Yeah. And then the 3 of them will have this place, but we'll still all be together, and it'll work out.
Yeah, we'll just...
Now, this show is not one to say that having money doesn't
money
help.
Doesn't solve everything. But money definitely helps.
Money helps.
Because I was like, money has solved a lot of the problems.
Correct.
But it's obviously not solving like the deep problems, but it's helping people overcome physical hurdles in their lives in order to like connect, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's part of the trope of like the poor little rich boy character of like, I've always had this wealth, but I've never been able to like use it virtuously.
Yes.
You know, so.
They love calling him righteous.
Yeah.
It's
righteous.
Like, righteous. So they're living together. There's a cute shot of like them moving all the stuff over.
Because it's like
there's like 2 ladders. Now,
up and down.
Pretty sure there is probably a door. You could just walk out the door and then walk in the door.
Yeah, but it'll be easier to just throw things over the mall.
No.
Rather than keeping going back and forth. That's stupid, Adam.
Oh. Now I'm going to skip to
because we already talked
about the end.
Because we already talked about
because I'm not going to talk about. Here's what I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about hide and fucking seek.
What was the lesson from the hide and seek? The kids play hide and seek. Wait, there isn't a lesson.
There is no.
Because
this is
the
episode
payoff.
10. Let me tell you what. Of all the episodes that we have watched, this is my least amount of notes. Because the most goofy ass nonsense happens in this episode. Because I think they were like, episode 9 was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Which it was.
Which it was.
So they were like, let's do a nice light episode after it. Mm-hmm. Which, I accept. In a recap purposes, there's nothing to discuss in this episode, to be quite honest. So we will talk about this hide and seek moment. The kid, Duo and her dumb doctor friend play hide and go seek.
She can't find him.
She can't find him. They go the whole night, and then he ends up being in the boys' Wooby's closet.
And Wooby is like, "Oh, is there a ghost? I just moved in here," and then he gets spooked.
And then he gets spooked by the kid.
And
Duo and this boy have to stop hanging out. You are not friends.
You are not friends.
You don't like each other. Kids are stupid. Enough.
It is funny because when you were like little, you kind of just played with the other kids that were around. But it's not until like middle school where you're like,
I'm allowed to choose.
I can like pick and choose for like I actually don't have anything in common with you. You find commonalities.
Well, yeah, because also you don't have interests until you're like in middle school.
Yeah.
Your interests
is running
are
outside.
like, yes, your interests are like being active and like being annoying. That's your interest as a child. Or at least it was for me. And reading. I did a lot of reading. I got grounded from reading as a kid. That's how much I liked it.
And you cried?
I would cry over it.
Oh, God.
She'd be like, you can't read books for 2 weeks. And I'd be like, but what am I going to do?
That's all I do.
Every other child in the world would be like, okay. And
It's
I was
so funny.
weeping over not being able to read. Ask me if I read now. I never read anymore.
Honey.
We have all these fucking book.
These are magazines.
These are magazines.
Pictures.
These are
Am I smut?
Those are
should read
those
some
are picture books.
Yeah. Let's get to the end, girl.
Okay.
Because
Suyu's teaching Wooby math. There's a moment where that's very sweet. Again, nothing.
These worksheets, it's 7:30, and these worksheets are like fucking long, bitch.
These girls keep calling Suyu on his new cell phone, so he now has Wooby answering the phone, being like, "Stop bothering Suyu. He's my boyfriend."
Literally,
that's the point.
That's the point of that
what's
showing
crazy.
That.
Yes,
because Wooby, Suyu's like, I hate these calls, and we first thought it was like, is it his mom? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Bokuang? Like who does he keep being like, he's busy, he doesn't want to talk to you? That's so weird. And then you find out later it's girls just in class calling him to ask him out.
Yeah.
And because Suyu's like, you can always answer those calls. And
because
Wooby's like, I'll do it. Because
it's so gay. The show is so gay, guys.
Really
I don't know
funny.
what to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, but they'll top it.
Something will be topped. I agree. So they're laying in bed, and we've established that Wooby is like a cheater, and so he likes to like cheat from Suyu's homework. So Suyu did like 3 worksheets in an hour, and these worksheets are supposed to take 120 minutes each. So we've established that he's the smartest kid in the world on the show. So he lays down to like pin Wooby to the bed to do his work. That's the point of why he lays on him. He lays on him so that it like blah, 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 right?
But the way he says it, he goes, lie down. And Wooby even goes like, what? Like he does this. He's like, lie down. So he lies down, and Suyu lays his head on his soft tush.
His tuchus.
And Wooby's like, why don't you use a pillow? And Suyu says this is softer than a pillow.
I can't defend you. I can't. She doesn't defend you, Kim. She doesn't defend you. That is basically the end of the episode. The episode really ends.
The next morning, Wooby's like, hey, I'm going to go pick up my brother.
He gets a call from his brother, who we find out is technically his cousin, who's like, I'm here in China. Come pick me up from the airport. So he's like, I'm going to go pick up him. He doesn't have a car.
Wooby?
Yes.
Yeah. He probably just called the driver.
But then
just tell the driver. Yeah.
Anyway, that was the only thing that I was like, what? But that's where the episode ends, is you see Suyu go back to sleep alone.
What a crazy pair of episodes.
They live together.
Oh, yeah. And they are fully...
This is domesticity.
Hanti.
Yes.
What a fun pair of episodes.
A lot of it was fun. Some of it was a lot. But a lot of it was fun.
But it is, I'm curious now if it's always going to be a 1-2 of like, if something is super heavy, then the next episode is going to be goof.
I know. I'm going to say Suyu for this one. I think he had so much to do in episode 9.
Yeah.
That was like really layered and complex that I was very impressed that he got there. And it was clear.
I will give it to Suyu as well. Mm-hmm. I've given it to Wooby the entire time, but it's my first time giving it to Suyu because of that just very...
Because you hate Omegas.
Yeah. That very emotional scene. And I think this was truly the first time that I felt really connected, that like what he's going through is so... It feels like unique to his situation. Mm-hmm. Because I did feel like, oh, are they just going to cast him aside as like he's just sulky and doesn't like change and he's never going to forgive his mom.
Right.
But like those finally started to crack today to show like what it's really about.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested. That's why I feel like there is going to be maybe not redemption with the mom, but he is going to go and be like, I actually don't need to even be mad at you anymore. There might be like an indifference, or there might be a place of like, okay, I'll accept you.
I forgot one thing. The episode ends and Suyu's mom like goes to Wooby's apartment.
And it's empty.
So
we think that's probably going to get...
It's going to be a whole thing again.
But yeah, there you go.
Great.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.